So my 2 cents, I don't think there's a middle ground. I think we either see a game 3 because of 15 to 20 minute dominance, or we're leaving real quick. Either way, I don't think that this is a team that kind of like bounces back just like casually and haphazardly. They either come through swinging, or they just sort of drop it.
I mean,
what were you doing there?
That's what you were doing. I was doing what you were like. They just gotta chug along a little bit.
Chug and chug.
GIF incoming. Anytime I'm on the desk with you, I'm like, I'm getting GIF today. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Well, I was so happy. So we weren't filming as Ratatasker gets banned. We weren't filming when you did your Chronos impression. We were casting and the camera's not on us. But it was in one of these 8 million videos they meme me on with you doing your Chronos.
It's nothing
what did it
look
like?
Chronos. You can find the GIF online.
Nike.
He looks like he's riding a horse. That's what he looks like whenever he's like, you know, swinging.
Nike will be banned out by Dutch Myrmidons, and Last Minute Monsters takes care of Ratatasker and Jingwei. Going to stick to those bans, and I like it. Like I said, I think I would have liked that Jingwei to be an Erlang Shen ban, but he didn't win the game last time around.
Clearly.
So here I'm okay with it.
Clearly, Rebound was able to handle it pretty well. Maybe the Soul ban could have really been used there, but Hestrix, again, I'm assuming this Thanatos is going to him. Really, really strong play last time. Was on point with the executes and really just playing around HalfDevil. I wouldn't have even minded a Khepri first pick. The only problem with that is that Thanatos would have been left open, which can really play around that Scarab's Blessing ultimate. Of course, the execute goes through that revive. It's not going to revive you from an execute, so no problem with the Thanatos first pick.
Sobek and Erlang Shen are selected here, which makes me think that Dutch Myrmidons might be moving away from the Ra here in this game for the first time in 3 games. We saw the Ra not just in game number 1 of our semifinals, but also in our quarterfinals where Dutch Myrmidons took on Lunatic Jesters. So
Artemis
might see a little bit of change, and that's certainly a little bit of change. The Artemis instead of the Chronos, but the same idea. Stay in lane, hang out, and then later on, we totally bring the noise.
Sure, but even less safe than Chronos. And Cosmic struggled in the laning phase during that game. I just don't understand the need for the Artemis right there. Is Artemis really going to get banned?
No.
Like, maybe a target ban. We've seen it banned away against characters like Funball and Panda Cat before, but... Yeah, very curious decision. Love the Awilix pick here. We've seen Mike TheMagikarp get targeted out in the second banning phase every single game so far, and he's got plenty of setup. No jumps yet for Minute Monsters, but you've got Sobek and you've got Erlang Shen, 2 great instant knockups that you can use that Gravity Surge off of.
Really important that Dutch Myrmidons allow Mike TheMagikarp to get that pick, because Mike TheMagikarp, I keep saying this, he's not one of the best players in the league, but he's definitely above average. But more importantly, what he does is he sets his teammates up just as much as he achieves himself. And Awilix is a character that half second from Feather Step is definitely something that Dutch Myrmidons can make use of.
And it's going to be HalfDevil they're looking for. It's going to be looked to pluck back that Khepri and really make sure that he's going to be able to be in the back of the team fights and providing that damage reduction with Rising Dawn, providing those Scarab's Blessing ultimates for the rest of his team. Like this Poseidon pick, though, from DeathPanter, you're going to be able to shut down that mobility from Khepri. Plus, if you're able to force his revive onto another character and then pop it intentionally right into the double Kraken right away, it's a really great way to play around that Khepri ultimate.
Poseidon, as you said, will be the selection here. Waiting on the other 2 from Last Minute Monsters. The bands coming out: Ratatasker, Jingwei, Giannis. That's not a second Ratatasker band. We'll get you the real band in just a moment. Thoth, Belonath, Zeus, and Nike on the other side from Dutch Myrmidons. But the Amaterasu, a very passive laner versus the Erlang, who is the opposite.
No surprise to see Vulcan locked in for Mr. Stefan. I was very surprised to see that they banned away that Bellona, but
yeah, that was
I guess with how Rebound played, you got to give it to him. I mean, he really knew that matchup well. Like I mentioned, it's disarming the Erlang Shen. He gets all of his damage from those auto attacks. So keeping TheBigSB safe in lane, I like that ban. But the problem is you give Mr. Stefan his premier character in Vulcan.
We'll definitely keep an eye on that one, and keep an eye on the Chronos. So it's going to be on Dutch Myrmidons. That's the Hunter, Awilix in the jungle, Poseidon in the mid lane. Erlang and Sobek will be the tanky characters, one in the short, one in the long lane, respectively. How are you feeling about these drafts?
I like Dutch Myrmidons' draft in theory. It's just difficult to execute in-game, and I think that's where that concerns me. Whereas Last Minute Monsters, this is very, very similar to their last game draft. Oh, and it's actually a ROM, not an Artemis for Cosmic. in that duo lane. Much, much safer. Going to be able to have that mobility, the CC immune ult. I like this pick a lot more than the other.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense. Hoek one more time, right into the mess, finds the pickup and the dash, but Hoek in some more trouble. Let's bit of monster used to this fight now. And Cosmic finds it. Mike the Magikarp gonna go down as well. Mr. Stefan gets the kill. And that's, you know what? Dutch Myrmidons. They played it in game number 1. They played it in their quarterfinals, right? Shame on that team. They played it in game number 1 of the semifinals. Shame on me. You get one time.
Yeah.
Twice? No,
We're
no,
ready
no,
for you.
Shame on you. And they not only, what I like about that is Last Minute Monsters not only topples the invade, but they get 2. Not just 1.
And the Sanctuary out from Baas as well, but you got to give a chance to, you got to give the shout-outs to Rebound with that Wrath, stunning away Mike the Magikarp to ensure that last auto attack from Mr. Stefan was going to be able to find the home. And we just see how potent Shell is at level 1, despite the fact that the CC chain plucked, and it was a perfectly placed Whirlpool from DeathPanter, dead center.
That's what I was going to go into. The picks and bans from Dutch Myrmidons here after the fact. Hindsight's 2020, of course. You can clearly see, all right, they're going to invade us again. They go to the DM Brandon School of invade every game, so we're gonna gotta stop that. DeathPanter drops down the Whirlpool. Mike the Magikarp with the half-second on Feather Step. You know that they're gonna come at you. So Last Minute Monsters are able to, Mr. Stefan, get a nice little knock-up. Nice rebound, no pun intended, from LMM to make sure that Dutch Myrmidons have the opposition.
Ooh, that knock-up from Mike the Magikarp saves him from eating a lot of damage, basically. Because of that knock-up onto Hestrix, he was going to eat a Death Scythe for sure, but it didn't matter because the Purification was used there. So many relics down. The only one up right now on the side of Dutch Myrmidons is DeathPanter with that Purification in the middle lane.
So touching on our picks and bans, as we said, the Artemis was actually the Rom, quite obviously, but less obviously, that second Ratatasker ban was actually a Freya ban. So
interesting.
So Last Minute Monsters afraid of the power coming out from the magical hunters on the side of Dutch Myrmidons.
Yeah, no soul ban, so Baas decided to go away from that. Maybe he didn't feel like he had the late game carry potential, and that's something you see a decent amount when you get a great lead in lane, but then you can't keep it together for the team in the later stages. You're like, all right, give me the latest game thing you got. Give me the strongest drink you have, and that's Chronos, basically.
Where's Shibalanke at?
As far as magical hunters go.
Okay.
Plus, I think I'd rather have Chronos in the late game than Shibalanke, because you aren't guaranteed to get the 30 power off your stacks.
Sure, but Shibalanke can turn the lights off.
He sure can. No one does it better.
Right side Rebound losing this matchup, as to be expected. I want to make sure the fans at home realize that this is how this is supposed to go. These two characters will, Baas takes a big chunk. These two characters will fight, and Amaterasu will lose the fight until about level 9. That's where her mirror is able to clear the whole wave, and she's able to heal up.
And I love the Death Toll pickup from Rebound, understanding that he's not worried about clearing the wave any earlier by picking up Bluestone that really affects that. Your abilities like the Reflective Mirror, like your dash, you're going to be just using those auto attacks, which are so important on Amaterasu. Really undervalued, I think, for a lot of amateur solo laners are Amaterasu's auto attacks. That passive is what makes her unbelievable in the early stages and mid stages of the game. Combined with the aura, making you take extra damage from all sources if you're hit with 3 auto attacks. So using that passive well with the Death Toll is going to be key to Rebound's laning phase. Good
control of the Gremlins as Last Minute Monsters take their early game fights.
I'm so happy you're on board the Gremlins train.
I love it. I think it's because there's no other fire elementals. There's way too many syllables.
I also like little guys.
I don't like little guys because little guys can mean
What you got against little guys?
Little guys can mean anything.
Baited.
Oh, man. Stevie Beefy getting baited just a little bit. Gonna get stunned out here. And the mirror shot should be strong. But there's Hestrix and the follow-up from the mid lane.
Oh, yeah.
The big Stevie Beefy gets grilled and served. Mr. Stefan with the kill.
And that's exactly what you expect out of Mr. Stefan with this Vulcan. He just so comfortable on it. Long range ultimate, doesn't matter. Finds the home. Early 2 kills for him. 3-0 right now early on for Last Minute Monsters.
Yeah, that Vulcan, it's actually surprisingly difficult to be so accurate with that long-range ability. So Mr. Stefan certainly showing his hours put on this mid-lane Vulcan.
Plus, you gotta love the Wrath from Rebound again. Used for the stun, not for the buff secure, the objective secure. Used for that stun to lock the big SB in place for that Earthshaker.
See, little guys can be minions, little guys can be Vamana
players.
Listen,
if you got something against little guys, I'm not here to expose you on that. You know, I just think that people need to know.
I mean, are you trying to call me a big guy? What are you doing here?
No, I'm not trying to call you a big guy, Tom.
Right here, Mike TheMagikarp trying to be the big guy. Nice little knock up. And the Purification again, just used off the money. Cosmic and Hestrix. Well, okay, maybe he's expecting the Awilix pull. I think that's why we see the, all right, less offensive there, but nice gank coming out from Mike TheMagikarp, bringing the Hunter down to about 10% HP.
Plus using the Purification so that he's not stopped in the middle of the roll. You saw Mike TheMagikarp did a great job of holding that Feather Step, waiting for the Rolling Assault to come out because you can stop it dead in its tracks with the cripple from Feather Step. So using that Purification in midair allows you to guarantee yourself that disengage whenever you use your roll afterwards. I've got no problem with that Purification.
Yeah, as do I on second look. Hestrix was our offender last time around.
It's true.
So we'll keep an eye on that one. Hestrix right now will be back at the base. And this time we see, so this is actually very interesting. Same start from Hestrix in the sense that full boots, wait, and then buy the starter item. But instead of the tank boots, we actually see the Talaria boots, which are one of my favorite boots to see on the Thanatos. How do you feel?
I'm interested because I feel like tank boots would have been better in this matchup than it was last time around because you have the Poseidon, which tank boots excel against tick damage, Whirlpool, tick damage. So you're going to be able to have a little bit more effectiveness there. But I guess Hestrix is just feeling himself. He felt like he had a great game last time. He wants to accelerate towards his build in the later stages. Plus, if he's going to go for the Mark of the Vanguard like he did last time, it's going to be better to go for these Talaria boots so you're not kind of double dipping on that the tick reduction damage.
He's going to accelerate because he's faster with the Talaria boots. And that's the big point, I think, you know, jokes aside. Mike TheMagikarp, DeathPanter, Baas, these are all characters that are going to be very, very fast. Thanatos is fast in his own right, especially after the almost guaranteed shield of regrowth. But those Talaria boots will help him catch up to these speedy characters as well. So I think that's why we see the divergence from the tank boots.
And this time around, Cosmic, top of the net worth charts on this left-hand side, playing a little bit better on in this duo lane. Having the better clear in the early game definitely helps that, as well as the fact, look at how conservative he's playing, knowing that his Purification is down. Much better play in lane thus far from Cosmic.
He just seems safer. Some players are just safer on the classic hunters versus the magical hunters. I mean, you can certainly, if you want to look at the pro scene, Zapman is one of those players that just looks more comfortable on the hunters than the magical hunters. Meta be damned. And sometimes the choice, sometimes the character that is not the actual top choice is better depending on how you play.
Yeah, the flavor of the month doesn't always agree with your taste buds. You know, you gotta find what you're comfortable with, regardless of what's meta at the time.
Big team fight right here. Whirlpool coming out. The Kraken is gonna be good on Mr. Stefan, and Hoek cleans it up. Dutch Myrmidons on the board at first. HalfDevil gonna get his ultimate chased out onto himself. There it is. Pop. And
goes the Weasel. Pop goes the Weasel.
Because the Weasel goes pop.
There it is. HalfDevil going to fall 2-for-0 in favor of Dutch Myrmidons. And that was a great job of splitting that team fight there by the Dutch Myrmidons. They keep HalfDevil on the right-hand side underneath the Fire Elementals, Gremlins, or Little Guys, depending on your preference. And then on the left-hand side, you see Mr. Stefan completely alone. No way for that Scarab's Blessing to immune that Kraken. And that's the thing. Kraken really, really great whenever you can pop someone out of that ultimate and then hit it with Khepri and that person. But if you just crack at someone and they get immediately revived from Khepri, it's kind of feels bad, man.
Yeah, you're just kind of sitting there like, well, that was my party hat.
I did it. I hit him. It's more than I can usually say.
Well, that's certainly true. Which, yeah, I mean, we've seen that before. Right here, Baas gonna make the play on the tower right here. Got to be careful as the rotations are coming. They're from his own team, so I would have liked him to see him stick around a little bit longer, but better safe than sorry, I guess. At the end of it, 3-2, 7.5 on the clock exactly. Last minute monsters taking on Dutch Myrmidons in game number 2. This is a best of 3 series tie game here, folks. LMM looking to take this one to the bank to end this series short.
This is where I expect to see Cosmic really take control of this lane. He's finished his boots now. He's got the Devourer's gauntlets. And Baas hasn't gone for a help to defend himself. Someone's got to defend this Gold Fury. Time stop coming out. It's going to be close, but it is going to be last-minute monsters taking away that gold. Just understanding the flow of the map very, very well there.
Yeah, Mr. Stefan using the ultimate to go ahead and confirm, thanks to the mid-range power. Stevie Beefy again in a little bit of trouble. Rebound given the chase. 1 shot, 2 shot. There's the stun. We'll see you later, son. Stevie Beefy gets roasted again. And that's going to be the solo laner's second fall.
So much talk about how good the TheBigSB has been playing and coming from us, and deservedly so during their last week's games and again with their quarterfinal game this week. But it's been Rebound in these semifinals, really taking it to the TheBigSB, really looking strong.
Yes, man. What do you think? What do you think went down there for Stevie Beefy? What was the change? I mean, quarterfinals to semifinals, you can obviously argue the talent level of the opposition. But from last week to this week, what do you think the difference is there?
It can just be that the rest of the team isn't getting. He's not getting the support that he's used to seeing from TheMagikarp. It could be that they aren't used to this sort of synergy with Poseidon in the middle lane. Picks are a big deal in these sorts of scenarios. Big deal on the left-hand side. Cosmic's got to find all three. He's 0 for 1 thus far. Going to be able to find a third, but it's not going to matter. HalfDevil's got to get here in time to get that Scarab's blessing off. He will. Hestrix comes crashing down as well. The cavalry has arrived, and Cosmic, he's going to survive because of it.
Huge play coming out from Last Minute Monsters, and Cosmic got himself into a precarious situation. But you got to tip your cap to him on how well he dealt with it. He went up to the sky. He was able to roll. He stopped the first advance from Hoek.
And you gotta, exactly, the stalling tactics by going up into that Astral Barrage is the big key there. And Cosmic could have looked for all 3 shots quickly to try and find the kill on the Baas, because I think he had enough damage, but I love the identification that I just need to stay up here as long as I can. Just keep up in the sky, wait for HalfDevil to get over here, and save my life with that Scarab's Blessing. Good trust in your support there from Cosmic.
That's what it was. It was the trust of the teammate. And, you know, he made that play that you pointed out beforehand a second time, where he rolls away from the support and then smacks Hoek with the cripple to make sure that he's not going to get charge played right away. Here again, the ultimate, but this time defensively. And here comes everybody else. No knock-up. Nice little turnaround from Rebound, understanding the sound cue and able to stop himself.
And that's why you see him use his ultimate in that scenario, because he understands that there's a rotation coming from not only TheMagikarp, who didn't have his ultimate available, but the big one is DeathPanter. No physical protection or magical protection yet from Rebound in the solo lane, as to be expected at the 10.5-minute mark, but you have to be extra wary of where that enemy mid laner is, because that Kraken can come and smack you out of nowhere.
So Last Minute Monsters, they're ahead by, 1,500 give or take here. Did they miss an opportunity with the 2 kills they got early on, or was the way they played it exactly the way they should?
I don't have a problem with it. Their late game potential is really, really strong. Hoek going to take a bunch of damage here. He may just fall, and he will. Later. The turret for Mr. Stefan doing a ton of work. Hestrix up into the sky, looking for the target. Looks to be, he was thinking about TheMagikarp, but it's going to be DeathPanter in the middle lane. Gets a purification and gets out of dodge immediately.
And that's a win right there. Hestrix ultimate is going to be up way sooner than his opposition. He's got the cooldown on the shield of regrowth that he's building into. Well, it's not more cooldown, but 10% is good enough.
Oh, Cosmic
It'll be up quicker than that purification. And the Cosmic picking up that red buff. You said he was going to take control of the lane. Well, he looks like he's taking control of somebody else's lane here.
Just taking control of whatever he wants here right now. Level 13, a level up on Baas on this Chronos. DeathPanter still here, has the Kraken available, but I don't think he's got enough mana to use it at this stage. HalfDevil stunned underneath the tower, but BigSB teleports in and eats a Death Scythe immediately for his troubles.
TheMagikarp shows up as well. Just enough to chase LMM off of the tower. Rebound, however, going to work over here. Just cutting it down.
And this is what you do when you have a lead. You either group up and push as a team, or you split the enemy team up and continue to take their farm away. BigSB gonna try and eat a dazzling defensive there. I thought Rebound was going for him.
Yeah.
Curious decision. Maybe he didn't know where the jungler was.
I think
he was worried about the CC potential there.
It was a Sobek right there. Rebound unleashes the ultimate, looking for the kill. Somebody calls Sobek and everybody falls back. And he's falling back mid-ult. That's not a great feeling, but I like the commitment to aggression coming out from Last Minute Monsters. Because like I said, as egregious as it was that last game we saw somebody have the lead play them where they got too aggressive, I think it's also just as bad to have a lead and not utilize it at all. Right now you're up 3,000, you can use that.
You can chill. You can do whatever you really want to do on these maps. You just got to be wary of the rotations, and that's exactly what Rebound was playing around. Yep. Cosmic playing very, very safely here, not coming out to contest that wave because he understands that everyone else on the map is missing outside of DeathPanter. Heads up play out of Cosmic, and like we mentioned, just looks so much more comfortable on this traditional hunter.
Straight question, why don't we see more people freeze the wave? Cosmic can't fight into that. Baas can just hang on to the wave and deny the XP and the gold. Why don't we see that happen more often?
Because honestly, I think part of it just comes down to standing there and watching the wave doesn't feel great.
It's boring.
Yeah, you kind of get itchy fingers and you want to make plays.
Think about how mad the other guys get.
Oh, so mad. Nothing's worse than getting your wave frozen. Like you're playing a Clash game and they freeze the wave and you're like, really, dude?
That's me.
Yeah, that would be you.
I've played 12 minutes of Clash, and if I played more, that would be me. Right now, aggression on the Gold Fury. Last minute monster's gonna start it, but they're looking for the fight. I love this play. Ultimate into Stefan, just gonna tickle Hoek, but here comes everyone else. Hestrix picks up one. The ultimate out of the Kraken, just not enough damage. That's that 3K lead, folks.
Cosmic still here in the front line, trying to do enough damage. No sustain here, but Mr. Stefan zoning away with that turret. Wrath is up right now for rebound. BigSB has his as well, but it looks like the call is to give it up. Gold Fury goes the way of last-minute monsters.
That's the play. I wish I could frame that play right there, Aggro. I wish I could frame that play. I love this play. You're 3,000 to 4,000 gold ahead. You're not going to slaughter the enemy team by any means, but you have the advantage. You start the Gold Fury, usually not the Fire Giant. You start the Gold Fury and you say, look, either they come at us and they fight us, and we beat them and win, or they let us get the Gold Fury. If you make that play every game at 3,000 or 4,000 gold, you're going to wind up positive. I love that play.
Very heads up.
Textbook.
And Last Minute Monsters just looks like a veteran team right now. This doesn't seem to me like a team that, you know, still needs a lot of work in their decision making or calls. They look very, very coordinated. And you got, in my mind, you know, I don't know their team dynamic very well, but HalfDevil's got to be the guy you got to look at. He's been around for so long. He's been there. He's done that. And now he's passing that knowledge on to these Challenger Cup players.
So I think you could see the holes in this squad if you look really close. The rotations are
the silence.
Yeah,
that was nice. BigSB, we'll see you later, buddy.
And that's why you draft the Thanatos. That SB might even get away after that because of how much health he still has. But in any event, when it comes down to it, I think if you really analyze the tape, you can definitely still see some holes in Last Minute Monsters game. They're definitely not energy by any stretch of the imagination. And I think one of the, as positive as it is, that HalfDevil is the general, and he's clearly talking his face off because that's what HalfDevil does. If you looked at the way the team played when HalfDevil was dead towards the end of the game, kind of just haphazard all over the place, if I'm Dutch Myrmidons or any opponent, I am focusing Mr. Devil.
But you really can't because you saw in that last engagement where they're trying to bait them into the fight at the Gold Fury, they pull HalfDevil significantly far away from everyone else.
That's true.
And then they just eat an Earthshaker for it. You know, they're grouping up around him. He pops the shell. He survives, no problem. He doesn't even use his ultimate. You just don't have enough damage on Dutch Myrmidons to punch through this Khepri early on. DeathPanter has to commit his ult if they're gonna kill Khepri with the first initial pull, and you saw him hold it, and so he survives. You have to do that full commit or don't commit.
And I think the full commit is almost worth it because when we watch the end of that game, 2 Phoenixes are down, 3 players are up, they could easily kill the Titan versus 1 or 2 players. There's indecision. They couldn't really choose what to do. When HalfDevil's there, you see him corralling them, walking into the, I'm going to tank this right Phoenix, and either I'm going to die to it or my team's going to kill it. And the team knows they have to follow HalfDevil. HalfDevil is very clearly the leader here, and Last Minute Monsters, I'm not sure if individually they have the confidence. It's funny, the decisions that the individuals make when HalfDevil is on the field are great. But I don't think they have the confidence in themselves yet to make those decisions without HalfDevil there.
Well, regardless, he's here right now, and they're up 7-2 in kills. They're up as well 7,000 gold at the 16-minute mark, right under 7,000 gold and right around 6,000 experience. And for me, the difference maker this game not only has been HalfDevil, but it's been Cosmic just playing safer. Like I mentioned, Baas was the reason the Dutch Myrmidons were really in that game last time around in game 1, but Cosmic just looking so much stronger. And curious itemization coming out of Baas. No Celestial Legion helm, no Dynasty Plate helm.
Just going straight damage.
Just going straight damage, but those could really, really help up against the physical damage coming out of not only Cosmic, but Hestrix and Rebound as well. Really gives him a lot of extra tankiness that he's foregoing for some extra cooldown reduction and damage for his mid laner. I really would have preferred to see Baas go for one of those helms.
Yeah, very, very, very interesting coming up from the Chronos choice. I absolutely think Cosmic is just better on these traditional hunters. After 1.5 games, Chronos is the hunter that traditional hunter player, or Chronos is the magical hunter that traditional hunter players will go. So with that in mind, I think he's just happier to be on the ROM here. DeathPanter chased out, and this is the free tier 2 tower.
No, Mike TheMagikarp blinking in. He's looking at Hestrix, but just so tanky right now. Cosmic putting damage into the objective, trying to make sure they secure that 1,500 gold for the team, but the rest of Dutch Myrmidons have made the rotation. Hestrix coming around the backside, looking for someone. He's up in the sky. He's looking for Hoek. Earthshaker, not going to be able to find a home. Mike TheMagikarp going to eat the damage, but Hestrix, he's in trouble.
And that's one of the downsides of playing Thor, Thanatos, or Ratatasker into a Poseidon. You land, you get hit by the Kraken, but Rebound's gonna be the one hitting Hoek. Finally the accuracy, but he's saved by HalfDevil. Baas gets away despite the best efforts of our Ram player Cosmic. And Hestrix stunned down to the right side still. Tier 2 tower falls. Last minute monsters still got their foot on their throat.
And Cosmic just 4 items deep already. Three complete items, actually. No, it is 4. I'm sorry about that. Mike the Magikarp.
Mikey gets grabbed.
Where's
Mikey
he gonna
gets
go?
Grabbed. Mikey's gone.
Nowhere to go. Cosmic able to pick him up. Now the Khepri ultimate still available. Hestrix, he's running away as fast as he possibly can. That additional movement speed from Scent of Death, from the Shield of Regrowth, coming up big there.
From Talaria Boots even.
Yeah, Talaria Boots as well. Tier 2 tower falls. Middle Phoenix falls. Multiple members of Dutch Myrmidons fall. And it's getting to that dreaded 10K mark, Tom. Very, very close.
Just under 20 minutes, rather. Just under 10K. And the Dutch Myrmidons just under 3 kills. They've only accomplished 2 kills so far. One, they caught Mr. Stefan way out of position, and the other time they just all in collapsed on HalfDevil. Every other situation has wound up in the last minute monster's favor here.
And it's just been not only the fights, because there isn't a huge difference in the kills, 7 kills, not the biggest difference at 20 minutes, but just the map control, the invading from Cosmic, the invading from Rebound, the Gold Fury control. This is going to be the 3rd one in 19 minutes going the way of last minute monsters. That is going to push that lead right over 10,000. It's going to be 11,000 gold for the last minute monsters, and they're in a great spot to head on to the finals for the 2nd week in a row.
And you pointed out the fact that there's not a lot of kills. Every single kill has been important for last minute monsters. They find the pick that they need to open up the Gold Fury. When we saw them take on the Gold Fury, it was 5-on-5. They only got 1 kill out of that situation, but it was the only kill they needed to make sure that they could secure gold. Here they're gonna start the Fire Giant, and again, this is the same situation. Dutch Myrmidons, either you fight us and we win the fight, or we get the Fire Giant. HalfDevil the only one playing defense. Everybody's gonna have to peel off. Ooh, that could have been dangerous, but the Fire Giant finally leashed.
Now HalfDevil pulled in again. There's the Kraken. There's the knockup. HalfDevil still alive, though. BigSB in the backside looking for Mr. Stefan. Everyone immediately collapses on the solo laner.
That's the play that you need to make, but you have to finish the deal. HalfDevil can't get away. Everybody get a retreat on LMM, and that's going to be the end of that fight. Dutch Myrmidons play that, I mean, 95 out of 100.
The blink from Mike the Magikarp. They are going to find HalfDevil this time. Mike the Magikarp so low. Snipe from Cosmic's going to be able to find him. He picks up 1. Hoek pretty low as well. A couple extra damage shots pumped into the enemy team.
Watch the team now. This is not an engagement that last minute monsters needs to go into.
But Cosmic's level 19. Yeah, he can do whatever he wants right now. Teleport coming in from Rebound behind as well. BigSB trying to find the enemy hunter. Sanctuary going to buy him some time for now, but he needs some peel. Hestrix going to provide that. The turret as well. Cosmic just juking around. Oh, not going to be able to find the execute there. Baas finally able to pick him up. Mr. Stefan trades out his mid laner as well. Baas on the run.
Hestrix still giving the chase. I like the chase out of the Chronos. For a second, I thought that was Stevie Beefy. Probably not the greatest ideas, but looking for the death on the Chronos. There it is. Rebound confirms it. That's what I was talking about. I hope I wasn't the only one that saw the distinct difference in team fight without HalfDevil in it. There was
a little spread.
With HalfDevil, there is a concentrated target, no split DPS. As soon as he's gone and he can't call these team fights, everybody's attacking whoever they feel fit. And that is the clear Achilles heel of last minute monsters. If I'm Dutch Myrmidons, or perhaps the team that makes it into finals, I am watching this and I'm making sure to slaughter HalfDevil.
He's only had 2 deaths so far, and that's why you see last minute monsters be so successful. 3 or 4 members here from the LMM looking for this right-hand tier 2 tower. Middle Phoenix is going to respawn fairly soon. No damage onto the Titan yet thus far. Dutch Myrmidons have done a pretty good job of defending their Titan room.
I like the call to peel off of the Fire Giant right there. And again, not to harp on it, but 2 players attacked the Fire Giant until HalfDevil showed up and said no, and then they moved on to clear the jungle out. Very clearly the head of this team is going to be HalfDevil, which should be no surprise. HalfDevil's a veteran, and it's not like he's one of these veterans of the Challenger Cup that just can't succeed because of his own issues. He's actually he's in the army, and he just doesn't have the time commitment to wind up being one of these pro players. I think if HalfDevil absolutely had all the time in the world that some of these other players did outside of his native Israel, I think you might have seen. I think we might have been talking about an SPL HalfDevil instead of a relegation HalfDevil.
Absolutely. I mean, he's been around forever. Cosmic just not in the right spot, but he's going to be able to jump into the sky right out of the range of that Kraken, shoot one shot, and just get out of danger as fast as possible.
I mean, look at, you could probably kill Cosmic, but everybody's just like, yeah, that Kraken.
Yeah, not going to be able to find it, but Hestrix going to try and find the execute, getting Hoek very low. Charge Prey, going to buy him some time, rebound. Thinks he's going to charge it down. Cosmic gets revived by HalfDevil, has no relics. BigSB, he's there trying to pick up the enemy hunter.
Look at the body blocks. Love it coming out of HalfDevil. Cosmic gets one. Hestrix and rebound finish off the damage. Thanks to you, brought by Mr. Steffen's ultimate from a distance. Sorry about that one.
Not going to be able to get away from that long-range artillery strike from Mr. Steffen. BigSB able to escape just barely, but the Middle Phoenix will not. Middle Phoenix has respawned. Middle Phoenix has died a second time. 24 minutes in, second Phoenix killed by last-minute monsters, but it's the same one, so you still have that ability to defend okay right now as Touch Myrmidons.
Tier 2 goes down, and we're likely to see the left Phoenix. It's still going to be 15 seconds before the Thor player comes back up, or rather Awilix, excuse me, like TheMagikarp. So this is a free Phoenix as well.
Hestrix has got to be the one to hit this Phoenix, though. He's the one with the physical damage that can punch through the objective. Instead, he's going up into the sky. He's looking for the execute onto the BigSB. The Phoenix is going to fall, but at what cost? Rebound pretty deep right now. HalfDevil doesn't have the ultimate. Kraken going to be able to secure that from the outer ring. Now HalfDevil, who was trying to save his teammate, forced to throw the root onto himself. Very, very slow thanks to that Whirlpool Gem of Isolation combination. Baas, he wants to find him, but HalfDevil gonna survive.
Hestrix absolutely making me happy as a Thanatos player here. Understanding that his role, now the execute was way too early, and that made me unhappy. But what a lot of Thanatos players don't get is the way that you have to play. You are secondary support late in the game. He's using the silence, he's understanding the slow on death side, not just about the damage. Completely saves HalfDevil right there. Gotta put a smile on the Thanatos players at home's faces. And the Fire Giant is gonna put a smile on Last Minute Monsters fans' faces. They're up over 10 grand. They've got a Fire Giant on 4 out of 5 of their players.
The BigSB and TheMagikarp are doing speed buff while that Fire Giant is being done. Together. If one of them's on speed buff while the other checks fire, fine. Probably not optimal. You can take 2 seconds and go check fire to make sure it needs to be done, and then do your buff, but you can't both be doing it, especially when you have Wrath in the solo lane. There's no secure there. Mr. Steffen uses his ultimate, but it's going to be from a close range. You've got the potential to CC him. Cosmic's been tanking it for the entire duration. That 2 veteran players, Get Fisher, Zashu, TheMagikarp, the BigSB, same thing, and their heads aren't in the game right now, it seems like.
And that is, I mean, when we talk about it, Zashu wasn't banned for no reason. Zashu is banned because he gets frustrated in games and he takes it out on his pub teammates and opponents, and that's not well and good. That's why he got banned. And TheMagikarp, Get Fisher, there's a reason why he always shows up in the springtime and then later on kind of finds it hard to find on a team. They are very easily, and I don't like to say this about players unless I'm absolutely sure. I know that these players have a tendency to get tilted in games like this. The frustration level on these players are high, and plays like that are proof in the pudding that this game is also mental, not just mechanical.
Last Phoenix being sieged here by Last Minute Monsters. Hoek taking a ton of damage from Mr. Steffen. Hestrix up into the sky. He's looking for the enemy Sobek, but the Earthshaker gonna force out 2 sanctuaries there. Mr. Steffen, that would have spelled instant doom if that had connected.
Right there. Right now, still focusing on this fight. HalfDevil is gonna be half HP, and this is as everybody floods into the Titan room. I'm not sure if Last Minute Monsters can take this fight head on, but that's exactly what they're gonna do.
They're trying to go for the finals right now. Hestrix pulled back in. Cosmic up into the sky, looking for the targets. It's going to be DeathPanter, 2 out of 3. Not going to be enough to get him low enough. Rebound dashes in, looking at Baas. Knock up again there from Mike TheMagikarp, but the crits coming out of Cosmic. Not enough to save Mr. Steffen's life. The Scarab's Blessing was on the wrong target, but 3 waves of fire minions pouring in right now. They're going to defend.
DeathPanter, 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 DeathPanter. Cosmic can't take on the whole team by himself. The Titan brought down to 25% HP. Like I said, the big lead was just not enough. Hestrix does find a way to wiggle himself out of that situation, but it just was a little bit too tough. Basically, what my analysis of the situation was Hestrix made a great play. Going up in the air, chased everybody off of the Phoenix. Not just the player that was in execute range, but everybody saw the Thanatos go up and figured fall back, because if Thanatos lands, even if not for an execute, it's going to set somebody up to clearly die. Everybody backs up and gives the Phoenix for free. Now that should be a walk-away situation, but what we saw was last-minute monsters. Hey, everybody push into the base, let's push in too, which I think was probably too aggressive.
You don't need to go for the end right there. I don't mind pushing into the Titan room right after Hestrix does, but once you get the Kraken out, back up, use that Fire Giant regen, and push up the waves. In that situation, your biggest asset as a team that has 5 members of Fire Giant are the fact that you have 3 Phoenixes down, and you've got 3 waves of fire minions that can come and help you body block skill shots, can help you do a ton of damage to the Titan, and make the other team make difficult decisions. Do we chase kills? Do we defend our Titan? It's difficult to find that balance, but you have so much time. You have to be patient in those sorts of scenarios. No reason to force it into the Titan room whenever you're not ready with those minions. They didn't have enough minions there to help them end.
3 players died to Whirlpool. 2 separate casts of Whirlpool.
I mean, the Chronos Pendant helping out DeathPanter a lot there, getting 2 rotations of that Whirlpool that gets 2 separate kills. The slows, the setups, definitely coming up big right now for DeathPanter in the middle lane.
When you're in that situation in the throne room, Gemma is
Mr. Steffen, he's gonna fall right away. BigSB picks it up, but it was DeathPanter with the Kraken. Hoek gonna survive. Hestrix misses the ultimate. DeathPanter picks up another kill, 2 dead, and it's the 2 damage dealers. Mr. Steffen, Cosmic, but again, it's Hoek with the setup, the pluck immediately into the Kraken. Mr. Steffen had neither relic available. Love the aggressiveness from Dutch Myrmidons there. They have a limited window to get that engagement going because of the 2 Phoenixes down in middle and right. They take it where they can get it and immediately identify the character that doesn't have the Sanctuary up. DeathPanter looking very, very strong in this late game.
Great play coming out from the Dutch Myrmidons right here. They're going to push up the waves as far as possible. Fire Giant's about to spawn. If they play the Root Beer Tapper right here, they might even get a shot at the Fire Giant. It all depends on this fight in the mid lane. Never mind.
See ya. Baas falls. HalfDevil able to pick up his first kill. He deserves one at this stage in the game. He's played so well. May as well be on the 30-minute Chronos, who's basically full build at this point, only waiting on the rod up to Hootie, and that's a big blow to lose your late game tower pusher.
I've spoken about items a lot, probably more today than I have in the past long time. Why does Chronos have his own Chronos pendant? I'm just never a fan of that much CDR on the character.
Yeah, he's got a lot of CDR right now. Pythag's piece plus the Chronos pendant. I think that they thought the game was going to be over very soon and they wanted to get a late power spike. Don't want to sit on Restored Artifact. No one's going to be sitting on that Kraken. Hestrix pulled back in, but the Scarab's Blessing is perfect from HalfDevil.
Thanatos runs away to the mid lane thanks to HalfDevil, who's going to walk in.
Look at HalfDevil. He's ending the game.
For the sky. This is it. They're just swinging for the fences. Down comes the Thanatos. Down goes the Titan. 19-12. 31:40 on the clock. And last-minute monsters are your finals team.
They're going all the way. And this is the second week in a row that they've gone to the finals, which guarantees them a spot in relegations later on down the lane. You could put a big check mark on them.
That's what I did.
I see that. That's why I said it. But you gotta give a lot of shout-outs to HalfDevil, to Mr. Steffen, Hestrix, Cosmic, and Rebound. All of them working so well together. And now we've got the rematch set up. Variety's new team, last-minute monsters, both guaranteed to move on to relegations, but who's going to be the top card?
And I think Last Minute Monsters has done better this week than they did last week. Just a single week of preparation certainly helped them out. Notable matches: Last Minute Monsters over Last Minute Leftovers, and of course the Poppies lose again in the Wave 4 semifinals, the quarterfinals.
And you got to look at, because remember, it was Variety's new team versus Dutch Myrmidons last week, and Dutch Myrmidons really pushed them to the limit. I mean, that was a 3-game set that was very, very close overall. So you got to look. If Last Minute Monsters can look like that up against a team that really gave Variety's new team some trouble last week, maybe they've got a chance. Now, to be fair, the 3-game set, Variety's new team should have probably won the first 2. They throw one of the games, and that was their first week together. You expect them to get better as the time goes on, but clearly that also holds true for Last Minute Monsters, who look much better this week than they did last week.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Either way you slice it, fantastic stuff coming out from both of these teams. But I mean, it's a Thanatos game. I got to see some Thanatos highlight reels.
Okay.
In fact, these are the only clips we have. We might have some clips, but I'm not going to let them play them. Hestrix came through in the clutch in the jungle on that Thanatos, and I mean, I have to. Just have to celebrate. You
have to. I mean, he did miss an execute in the late game. That was pretty important.
I had my eyes closed.
But early on, and again, got to give shout outs to HalfDevil there, but holding on to it. But these sorts of up-down plays, looking for Hoek. Yeah, he eats the Kraken when he comes down, but it's already a 4v5 engagement in Last Minute Monsters' favor.
And, you know, they didn't catch it because it wasn't really a highlight play, but I loved the way the enemy team, Hestrix goes up in that final Phoenix fight, and of course it was a bad engagement after the fact for Last Minute Monsters.
Sure.
But he goes up on that final Phoenix fight, and everybody just runs away. He forces an entire team to run away.
He's scary, man.
I loved it.
The ultimate is hovering death. Like, you really want to hang around and just chill while that's coming for you?
Nope. Got to show love to the Hunter, though. Cosmic also brought it back. And like I said, Chronos is the player that if you're a pure Hunter player and you need to bring out Magical, you're going to go to the Chronos. He feels more like a traditional Hunter as opposed to Freya and especially Soul. So when it comes down to it, the Chronos was, I'll give you a solid okay, bud. You played okay later on in the game, but it was the Ram that impressed me.
Without a doubt, but this was a team fight that really turned it all around for Cosmic in this game. This is where he was able to pick up 2 kills and really start the snowball entirely into Last Minute Monsters' favor and get that speed buff experience as well. But like you mentioned, the Ram was the one that really started to do the damage. I mean, he was in control of the lane early on the entire time, but just finding the long distance autos, the snipes there onto TheMagikarp, and then he finishes off with a little bit of extra damage just to make sure everyone's too low to really continue that engagement.
Yeah, just the understanding of the character, I think, was clearly heavier on the Ram versus the Chronos. We saw him make a couple of stall plays. Here he is using the Purification, then you'll see him roll after that fact. Just more understanding on the side of the Hunter, and Cosmic certainly came through in the clutch. I don't want to see him playing magical stuff in the finals.
Well, he's going to have his hands full up against Arkil, who's really aggressive in lane. I'm very interested to see that dual lane matchup. Can't wait to see it.
Variety's new team, featuring the likes of Variety and his new team. They'll take on Last Minute Monsters in the finals. That'll be it, and we'll be back in just a few to see that incredible best of 3.